The story begins at an American space station where one day a strange signal was received. According to it, a UFO was moving very rapidly towards Earth. As soon as the general found out that this UFO had landed in his area, he immediately told his assistant to call Burke. Within moments, the man named Burke was brought to the military base. There he met with the other scientists and set out with his team to investigate the landing site. But as soon as he reached the devastated area, he felt some movement near his soldiers. Seeing this, Burke ordered the entire area to be sealed so that no one could go in or out. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, Jack was driving his taxi as usual. During conversation, his passenger said that you should come too. I have an event. The topic of discussion will be what is the possibility of life on other planets. He told him that he was a doctor and researcher, but Jack had no interest in all this. That's why he refused and went straight home. The next morning, Jack was watching the news and was surprised to learn that the government had closed an entire area, saying that there had been a major toxic gas leak there. But people didn't know that this was the very place where the UFO had landed. Meanwhile, after hours of searching, Burke's team found unknown footprints on the ground. On the other side, Jack had just started work at the taxi stand when two thugs came to him who worked for a man named Mr. Wolf. They said that their boss wants Jack to work for him again because at one time, he was the most skilled driver in their gang. But Jack flatly refused and told them to leave. At this, the thugs started threatening him. But Jack used his cleverness to knock both of them down and said that he would never go back to that world again. Just then a police car arrived there and the matter ended right there. A little while later, Jack saw two people sitting in the back of his taxi. Jack got a bit nervous and asked them, "Where do you want to go?" Then a girl named Sarah said in a calm voice that we need to reach a place urgently. And Seth, sitting with her, showed a large bundle of money and said that you'll get as much money as you want. Jack didn't quite understand what they were saying, but seeing the money he agreed and started driving. Both couldn't explain their destination properly, so Jack drove the car on dark roads following the girl's directions. Meanwhile, Burke and his experts watched the camera recording. They found out that the two people who were running away were actually not someone else, but aliens in disguise. Not just that, they were experts at blending into the crowd. Moreover, they had withdrawn money from a Las Vegas ATM without even touching it. Who knows what kind of power they have inside them? After much searching, Burke got the CCTV footage of the taxi parking, where he saw that a driver had taken both of them somewhere. As soon as this was found out, Burke immediately told his team to quickly find them and catch them. Meanwhile, on a deserted road far away, Jack was calmly driving his taxi, and those same two mysterious passengers were sitting with him. They had come quite far, and now Jack started suspecting that maybe these kids had stolen money from their parents. That's why he asked, "Where are your mom and dad?" But both gave no answer. At that moment, the disguised aliens felt that someone was following them. Jack said to calm them down that the cars running behind are also going somewhere. He slowed down so that those cars would pass ahead. But these were not ordinary people. They were Burke's soldiers who had come to surround them in ambush. With his sharp mind and intelligence, Jack avoided the first attack. But Burke's men started surrounding the taxi from all sides. In anger, Jack told his passengers to get down and then made such moves that several cars crashed into each other, which gave them some distance. But the problem was that Burke was still chasing them in his car. At the girl's warning, Jack increased the car's speed even more. To handle the situation himself, Seth told his sister that you wait in the taxi, and in a moment he got out of the car. A little while later, he stood in the middle of the road and made his body completely hard. Burke's car was completely destroyed upon collision with him. Immediately, Sarah used her mental power to turn the taxi backwards so that her brother could get back in the car. Filled with anger, Jack got out of the car and went to threaten those soldiers and said, "Tell Mr. Wolf that I will never work for him." Burke realized then that the driver actually had no idea of the truth. That's why he just said that you're getting involved in a matter about which you know nothing. But Jack ignored his words. As soon as Jack started to leave from there, Burke ordered his men to pull out that driver's complete file. While going away from there, Jack apologized to both his passengers and promised that I will definitely get you to your destination. A few hours later, all three reached near a deserted house, and Jack told them that the fare had come to a total of $720. But Seth handed over all the money to him without counting, and both got out of the car. When Jack saw that he had received much more money than he needed, his heart became restless. He decided that he would go after both of them and return the remaining money. At that very moment, he heard a screaming sound from inside that deserted house, and he went to see what was happening inside. As soon as he went inside, he saw that both were hiding behind the sofa, and Seth told him to leave from there for his own safety. But Jack didn't listen. Just then a signal appeared on their tracking device, and both started moving towards the marked place. Hesitating a bit, the taxi driver also followed them, but he didn't know that a dangerous creature was keeping an eye on them in the darkness. Upon reaching the kitchen, Seth opened a secret passage inside the fridge with his device and despite being scared, Jack also entered with them. Within moments, all three went through a secret passage and reached a strange basement where there was a large cave that was hiding an atmosphere like the alien world. At that very moment, Seth felt that the signal was coming from a sticky sphere, and Sarah placed her necklace on it, from which she got a unique object. Surprised, Jack asked, "What is this thing? And what was the need to get into so much trouble for this?" Seth told him that if this device falls into the wrong hands, both their lives will be in danger. Jack said that we shouldn't waste even a moment because more people could be after them. Just then they heard the sound of something approaching. Jack knew that he wouldn't be able to protect them, so Jack shouted and told both of them to run. Both hid in the bushes, and Jack tried to face those intruders with the help of a wooden stick he had picked up from the house. It turned out to be the same monster who had been watching them in the darkness. But Jack couldn't stand against that demon and jumped into the bushes to save himself. A little while later, that ferocious creature started breaking the alien things hanging there, and taking advantage of this opportunity, all three tried to escape from there. The problem was that Jack couldn't see the other two anywhere, and suddenly that monster captured Sarah. Seth immediately tried to distract his enemy, but he lifted Seth and threw him far away. But just then, seeing the opportunity, Sarah freed herself. Now Jack attacked that creature alone, and when Sarah saw her friend falling to the ground, she threw a burning sphere directly at that monster. Now when that demon was stunned for a few moments, all three tried to escape from there. But Seth got shot, and he became unconscious. To escape, Jack lifted Seth in his arms and then escaped from there in the taxi with both siblings. A while later during the journey, Seth regained consciousness, and Jack angrily asked what is really going on. But at that very moment, an alien drone appeared in front, and Jack suddenly moved the car off the road to avoid its attack. They quickly reached a tunnel, and after hiding there, Sarah told him that the creature that was chasing them was a siphon, a monster that was created only to find and eliminate prey. At that very moment, the drone appeared right in front of them again and started hovering near the tunnel's mouth. This made Jack's heart beat loudly. Still, that machine couldn't find them, and all three escaped via the railway track route. But then within moments, an alien spaceship attacked them from above, and after crossing a bridge, Jack tried to escape by entering another tunnel. This time the problem was that the spaceship also came inside the tunnel, so Sarah increased the taxi's speed even more with her powers. At that very moment, they saw that a freight train was coming from ahead, and to avoid collision, the driver applied emergency brakes. All three survived, but the train's driver came under the blast, and the spaceship was also destroyed with him. Without wasting a moment, all three left from there, and getting angry at whatever was happening, Jack asked them the truth about who they really were. At that very moment, Sarah made several things fly in the air inside the taxi, and told him that they could do all this because they had complete control over their minds. After this, all three continued their journey while on the other side. That monster had also survived and was slowly healing his wounds. A few minutes later, Jack left his taxi at a roadside mechanic, and then all three went to a restaurant to wait for the car to be fixed. Just then Burke's call came on Jack's phone. He told him that I'm outside only. He said directly that bring the children to me as soon as possible, and in return, I will get your police record completely cleared. But Jack flatly refused this, and after informing the sheriff about the armed men standing outside, he quietly left with Seth and Sarah. As soon as Burke raided the restaurant with his men, the chef asked him, "What is all this going on?" But Burke didn't panic at all. Instead, he signaled his people to point guns at everyone. At that very moment, the restaurant's employees also took out their weapons and stood forward to protect the people along with the chef. Burke was just talking to the sheriff to cool down the matter when a waitress quietly came to Jack and his companions and told them to come with her. All three reached behind the restaurant, and Seth used his molecular power to cross the roof's hatch and got everyone out, and thus they escaped from there without anyone knowing. But as soon as they came outside, Jack bumped into a dog which suddenly started barking. Then Sarah calmed that animal with her power. Jack quickly ran to the mechanic to get his taxi, but as soon as they started leaving from there, Burke saw them and immediately gave orders to his companions to stop them. To escape, Sarah blew up the engines of their cars, from which Jack drove out from between the convoy at full speed. At that very moment, Burke was about to fire when the dog bit his hand and he ran away. Seeing the dog's behavior, Sarah suddenly applied the brakes and opened the door so that the dog could also escape with them. During the journey, all three started thinking about how to get back that spaceship which the government forces had taken away. Then reading Seth's mind, Sarah suggested that they should meet Dr. Alex. This was the same woman Jack had met before. All three set out towards her event to find her. After reaching there, Jack asked an employee to handle his taxi and give food to the dog. Meanwhile, when Alex was giving a lecture, strange questions started coming from the audience. Instead of understanding the matter, people were saying strange things. Hearing their words, Alex was completely surprised. At that very moment, one of Burke's men saw Jack wandering at the convention and alerted all his companions. With this, the squad prepared to catch them again. Here, as soon as Jack met Alex, He took her to a quiet place and told her the whole story. But Alex was just not ready to believe these things. To convince her, both aliens told her that when entering the solar system, Alex was the first one who had photographed their spaceship. Also, Jack said that at this time we can only trust you. Do something. But Alex found all this to be nonsense, and she picked up her laptop and tried to leave from there. At that very moment, Seth used his power in front of her, and as soon as things started falling down, Sarah stopped them in the air with her power. Seeing the truth with her own eyes, Alex was completely surprised, and then both siblings decided to show their real identity. Seth activated his device and showed them that part of the universe from where they came. Then both explained that we came to make humans understand how to improve the deteriorating conditions, how to make Earth better. Sarah told that for years, due to the carelessness of the people living on our planet, nature was being destroyed. To stop their people from attacking Earth, they chose the path of escape. Their parents were great scientists. That's why they could bring a device that collected information about the ecosystem of the entire universe. And now, with this information, their planet could be saved. They said that with the help of this information, their planet could be saved. But for this, it was necessary that they return home as soon as possible. Otherwise, our people will attack Earth. Also, they had to escape from that dangerous siphon who wanted to catch and eliminate them. Therefore, Alex said that now not even a moment can be wasted. Through some of her contacts, she took them all to meet astronomy expert Dr. Harlan. Even after hearing the whole story, Harlan didn't realize that the boy and girl standing in front were actually aliens. That's why they thought it right not to tell him. A little while later, Alex asked, "Do you know where the government must have taken the spaceship?" Without thinking much, Harlan told that it must have been kept at Witch Mountain. He showed them the location and told that this entire area remains under strict surveillance of Secret Service. Still, they decided to go after gathering complete information. Before going, Harlan advised that until you enter that facility, don't trust anyone. Now, without wasting time, Alex told Jack to meet in a little while because she had to get her stuff. But while talking to her, Jack got distracted and both aliens disappeared from his sight. And before he could find them, Mr. Wolf's men caught him. They angrily told Jack that you shouldn't have rejected the invitation. Jack understood that not even a moment could be wasted in getting out of there. That's why, seeing the opportunity, he snatched a cosplayer's weapon and attacked those goons, and then defeated everyone with his amazing fighting skills. After this, he quickly ran to find Seth and Sarah, but at that very moment, Burke reached there with his men. Also, the siphon also arrived at the convention and started searching for his prey. As soon as Jack met Seth and Sarah, he said that now we have to leave quickly. Just then suddenly, all three saw that the siphon was climbing on the stage. Before the attack, Sarah used her power to pull a heavy metal structure and threw it on the monster, from which it fell far away. Getting the opportunity, all three ran away, and just a few seconds later, Burke took control of the entire hall. But now the problem was that the hall was surrounded by soldiers from all sides. Now our heroes understood that they were trapped. Then Jack asked Sarah to read his mind. In a moment, Sarah understood his plan and suddenly used her power to make all the people standing around hit the lottery machines. Suddenly, all people started shouting with joy and taking advantage of this chaos. All three escaped by blending into the crowd with Alex. As soon as they reached outside, everyone quickly got in the car and drove off at high speed, while the authorities were chasing them from behind. In this cat and mouse game, the taxi was surrounded from all sides. As soon as they were about to surrender, at that very moment Burke realized that actually Mr. Harlan was in the car who had come to distract him, so that Alex and her team could escape from the city in a car. Now Alex and her team had a new car and no one was chasing them. So they found out the location of Witch Mountain and reached a high place through the forest, from where the entrance of the base was clearly visible. Seeing the tight security, Alex and Jack said that maybe there would be some tunnel from which they could enter inside. But just then suddenly both aliens got unconscious darts. At that very moment, Burke and his men caught Alex and Jack and took the aliens as prisoners. Then Jack in anger pounced on the soldiers, but they easily controlled him. Then Burke threatened them that if they interfered with his mission, they would have to face severe consequences. Then the fear of going back to jail forced Jack, and he had to surrender. After this, when they were going in a military van, Alex scolded Jack for giving up so quickly. Then Jack started saying that how can I ruin my life to save those aliens? Then Alex was filled with anger and she slapped Jack hard on the cheek. And with this fight, the guards got distracted and Jack attacked and knocked out both of them. Then it is revealed that both had surrendered only to escape from the large group of soldiers. Now as soon as they were free, both decided that the boy and girl had to be saved, on whom scientists were soon going to do experiments. Then Alex and Jack quickly entered the facility through AC ducts. As soon as they landed there, both quietly moved forward and started looking for the aliens. Then as soon as they reached the lab area, Alex and Jack hid and started thinking of some plan. But just then suddenly the siphon attacked Witch Mountain. Then in anger, Burke ordered the soldiers to immediately eliminate that danger. And taking advantage of this opportunity, both entered inside the lab. Then after making a scientist unconscious, Alex and Jack wore protective suits and without wasting time started attacking the other scientists. They moved forward attacking everyone with the items lying around. During this, the siphon's missiles easily knocked down several of Burke's soldiers. As soon as Burke saw that this monster was moving towards the lab, he understood what its real purpose was, and he shouted and ordered all units to run towards the aliens. Meanwhile, as soon as the aliens regained consciousness, they freed themselves with their powers, and Sarah was very happy to see Jack that he had returned to save them. On the other side, as soon as Burke realized that the prisoners had disappeared, he ran an emergency alert, and meanwhile our heroes group set out in search of the UFO. Seth showed the spaceship's path with his locator, and then a little while later, Alex disguised herself as a scientist so that she could deceive the other employees. Alex went there and said that Burke has said to immediately evacuate the entire facility, and if anyone asks too many questions, they will get severe punishment. With her words, she fooled all the scientists she met on the way. Meanwhile, Burke saw that there was no security near the UFO, so he ran in anger to stop the group. Meanwhile, Seth without delay placed his device on the spaceship structure, and as soon as it received energy, its main door opened. Seeing this scene, Alex and Jack were amazed. But before going inside, Burke and his guards captured them all once again, and then suddenly a gun accidentally fired from a soldier. But Seth used his power and stopped every bullet of the enemies. In panic, Burke shouted at the soldiers to stop firing. Just then suddenly the siphon also reached their breaking through a wall. Seeing the siphon, everyone's attention went towards it, and taking advantage of this chaos, Jack told everyone to enter inside the UFO. Soldiers ran to stop them, but they all got stuck in the siphon's attacks. As soon as all the engines and navigation systems were activated, the aliens prepared to take off. Despite the tight space, they somehow managed their position and started escaping from there. When Seth saw that thousands of bullets were being fired at the siphon, he told everyone to sit carefully and directly ran his spaceship over the monster, from which the siphon was completely destroyed. At that same time, Burke told his people to close all the routes. But still the aliens were not scared and kept moving forward at full speed, and at the last moment they broke the door and came out. Now as soon as they were free, everyone was dancing with joy. But amidst this celebration moment, Seth saw that the compression chamber was damaged. Then Jack asked him, is there no way to fix the spaceship while flying? Now Jack went to the very place where the defect was, but there he had to face the siphon again, which kept attacking him repeatedly. Seth realized that something was wrong. That's why he told Alex to control the spacecraft with his sister and ran himself to help Jack. During this fight, Jack pulled and removed the monster's helmet. Then Seth shouted loudly to distract the siphon and then made himself disappear with his power. Then seeing the opportunity, Jack gave a tremendous blow on the enemy's head. But in return, the siphon threw him towards the UFO's energy matrix. With the intention of finishing his prey, the monster grabbed Jack by the neck. But then Seth attacked him, and as soon as Seth disappeared again, Jack pulled the siphon directly towards the light rays. The very next moment, Jack punched the siphon in the mouth with full force, and then the energy matrix completely erased it. Finally, after saving his friend, Seth immediately closed the door from which the spaceship became stable again. Now they had reached quite far from Witch Mountain. Now the time had come for them to separate. Everyone said goodbye to each other, and Jack promised that I will take complete care of your companion dog. Finally, those alien siblings boarded their ship and departed towards their planet, with the belief that with the help of Alex and Jack, they might be able to save their entire planet. The movie ends here. If you enjoyed this recap, hype the video, like the video, and subscribe to the channel.